Hi, I'm Jana Bosonko, and this is QTV Midday News coming to you live from our studios along Kaiba Avenue. Thanks for joining us. Here are the main local and sports news headlines. President Adam Barrow on Saturday afternoon paid an unexpected visit to the central abattoir in Abuko to garner first-hand information on the sale of sacrificial rams for Eid celebrations, locally called Tobaski. The Canifing Municipal Council, in partnership with Waste Aid UK, on Saturday launched a project aimed at diverting organic waste from markets to compost in women's gardens. The World Food Programme, in partnership with the Ministry of Agriculture, on Saturday presented bags of rice to victims of the recent windstorm disaster. In sports news, a financial reward of $600,000 was presented to 4 athletes who will represent the Gambia at the Tokyo Olympic Games. Those were the main headlines, and now the news in detail. Do stay with us. Thank you for joining us. This is Midday News. Now, President Adam Barrow on Saturday afternoon paid an unexpected visit to the central abattoir in Abuko to get first-hand information on the sale of sacrificial rams for Tuesday's Eid al-Adha celebration by the Muslim Ummah, locally called Tobaski. Aliou Cisse has the rest of that.
It is now a tradition that every year the President will visit the central abattoir here in Abuko to buy rams for himself, friends and families, but also to help know the price of rams here at the central abattoir. This visit comes 2 days to the Muslim festival of Eid al-Adha, commonly known as Tobaski. Muslims in Gambia will join other Muslims around the world to observe this important day in the Islamic calendar. Speaking to the press, President Barrow, who was visiting the abattoir as a family man, said he had observed high prices of rams, but believes through negotiations anyone can purchase a ram for the feast. He reveals the government had to waive all taxes on rams this year to make it affordable for every Gambian.
I am here as Adam Barrow. I am here as a family man. That's why I came to the General to see whether I can purchase a ram for my family, a ram for my friends, and my party supporters, and some religious leaders. That's why I am here. Overall, I see you have a lot of rams around. Prices are a little bit high, but you can always negotiate, and look at the price that you can afford. And definitely buy the ram you want. Yes. I was able to negotiate prices ranging from 10,000 up to 25,000. Yes, I've been able to negotiate price with them. So it's a matter of negotiation, give and take, until when you agree, then you do business. Yes. Talking
about the high prices, what has your government done in order to ensure that the prices brought down?
Yes, we did everything possible at our own level to waive all duties, all taxes on rams this year. So I think that was the contribution for government to our population. Because our main objective is to support the people, to make important the life of the people. If you are elected, it's a social contract. That social contract is binding. That's why we waive all taxes for people who are doing this business.
While recognizing this as an important day in the Muslim calendar, the Gambian leader has this advice to Gambians as he wishes all a blessed Eid celebration on Tuesday.
We wish Gambians a happy celebration, and we are advising people, sometimes don't force yourself up to the level. There is a preaching in the Quran that if you are able, you can go in for a ram, but if you are not able, I think you are forgiven for it. So we'll advise people not to go and take loans or whatever for the fees. After the end of the day, you end up being in trouble, or you end up being in financial problems.
He gave assurances of his government's continuous commitment to liberalize the livestock trade, to have more Gambians take charge of this lucrative trade. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
President Adam Barrow there at the Abuko Central Abattoir. Now, the World Food Programme, in partnership with the Ministry of Agriculture, on Saturday presented bags of rice to victims of the recent windstorm disaster. Omar P. Jallo has the rest of that.
The support came barely a week after President Barrow held an emergency meeting with Cabinet and other development partners to canvass support for the windstorm victims. According to Yasuhiro Sumura, the World Food Programme representative and country director, this initial response will be followed by an additional assistance, as the WFP is processing the Internal Special Rapid Response Fund of $1 million to help some 30,000 windstorm victims with cash and rice for 3 months. He gave an assurance of WFP's continuous support to the government and people of the Gambia in terms of resilience building and disaster risk management that includes emergency preparedness and response and climate adaptation activities.
This time around, some 4,800 people will get the rice over the weekend until or by Monday. This is an initial response to be followed by additional assistance. WFP headquarters is processing the Internal Emergency Response Fund exceptionally for this, which will allow us to reach some 30,000 windstorm-affected people.
Sananda Haba, the Executive Director of the National Disaster Management Agency, expressed delight and called on other partners to emulate and support the initiative.
The national data revealed that 34,200 people have been affected countrywide. 2,167 households have been affected. But in the case of West Coast, they are also severely affected. 1,300 households have been also affected, as well as 18,000, covering 18,000 people. That's a significant number in terms of disaster victims in this area.
Alassane Senghor, the Secretary General of the Gambia Red Cross Society, said following the July 7 windstorm, the Red Cross deployed rapid assessment teams to all the affected areas and conducted an initial distribution of household items to the affected villages.
Last year and part of this year, we had partnered with the government and the WFP to deliver rice to communities. And this is what we are going to continue in dealing with the challenges posed by the windstorm disaster.
Ami Fabure, the Minister of Agriculture, said government is committed to providing disaster relief emergency fund to support victims. She added that responding to the needs of victims required a concerted effort and thanked the WFP for complementing government's effort.
I wish to say sorry to everyone that has been affected in one way or other by the storm. The government and the hard development partners strongly and they will give the necessary support for a quick recovery from this sick.
The preliminary assessment indicates that more than 16,849 people from approximately 1,057 households are affected, including more than 1,531 internally displaced persons, many of whom are currently being sheltered by relatives, neighbors, and friends. Other speakers include the Governor of West Coast Region, Lamin Sane, the Chairman and CEO of Birkama Area Council, victims, the Alcalo and people of Sanyang, amongst others, who all commended the WFP for the great gesture. Reporting for QTV News, I am Omar P. Jallo.
From that story by Omar P. Jallo, we will now go for a short commercial break. When we return, we have local and sports news. Do stay tuned.
The best product in town is back. QCell's MiFi router. Get the best MiFi in the country for just $2,800 and connect up to 15 users with 4G internet speeds and a long-lasting battery life. So rush now to any of our customer care locations and get the best for less while stocks last. For more info, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Senior Boss, the Gambia's quality network. We innovate, others follow.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. If you're just tuning in, this is QTV's Midday News. Now, the Gambian National Commission for UNESCO on Friday organized a validation forum on the draft report on mapping the current digital learning environment in the Gambia within the context of the education sector's response to COVID-19. Omar P. Jallo has the rest of that.
The $6 million project launched in Abuko will support women in the market to divert organic waste from markets with Bakau and Abuko, used as the pilot project to compost and turn it to biochar for use in women's vegetable gardens. The project is an initiative of the KMC and is supported by the European Union. The project will start at the pilot level for 1 year at a cost of $2 million, with the municipality contributing $500,000 and the European Union contributing the rest. The West 8 project coordinator, Ingrid Henders, speaking on behalf of the West 8 director, said they are glad to be associated with the KMC and are eager to start the project.
This project represents the first, I hope of many, European Union-funded projects for us as an organization, and we are thrilled that we are able to commence our EU relationship in Benju by sharing waste reduction and recycling expertise with market traders. We know that the transfer of knowledge and potential for further income generation for the participants in this program will add huge value to them and their community. Equally, I hope that this project will act as a catalyst for further investment in circular economy initiatives by both domestic and international structures.
The European Union ambassador to the Gambia, Corrado Pampoloni, said the project will also help train women gardeners on how to divert and change organic waste from the markets to their gardens.
This project and its ability to divert organic waste into productive materials is one way in which we can reduce emissions and mitigate climate change for a more sustainable future. Throughout the Gambia, the Global Climate Change Alliance is implementing a number of other interesting initiatives, such as processing fish waste into liquid fertilizer, enhanced reforestation of Tobo Forest Park, establishment of a coastal observer network for monitoring the effects of climate change along the Gambia River, among others.
For the Lord Mayor of KMC, Talib Ahmed Bensouda, this initiative is all geared towards finding solutions and mechanisms to close the Bakote dump site.
The main objectives of the project are to reduce the amount of biodegradable waste going to the Bakote dump site and to help women gardens to transform this organic waste into productive materials like compost and biobriquettes. This project will support women vendors selling in public markets like Abuko to divert their organic waste from traditional disposable locations like Bakote dump site and transform it into valuable products to improve the productivity and yields of women growing fruits and vegetables in community gardens. All residents of Kanifing rely upon these gardens to provide essential nutrients in our diets to live healthy lives. Additionally, women gardeners will receive training to transform organic waste into biobriquettes, which are less harmful to human health and more environmentally friendly than traditional charcoal for cooking.
Other speakers include the Alcalo of the village, Baba Gale Sise, and women's representative, Azad Sise, who all expressed delight and happiness for launching such a project in Abuko, which seeks to help women gardeners and those in the markets. They used the opportunity to call on the Lord Mayor to help them with a perimeter wall for their garden, saying for the project to be successful, the fencing of the garden is key to securing their work. Babu Karsi, QTV News.
Brilliant initiative. We must apologize for bringing you the wrong story. That is the Kanifing Municipal Council in partnership with Waste Aid UK instead of the Gambia National Commission for UNESCO on Friday organized a validation on the draft report when it comes to the education sector. So let's take a look at that story by Omar P. Jallo.
The COVID-19 pandemic has impacted all spheres of life globally, and particularly the education sector. Educational institutions were closed across the globe for several months, during which learning was disrupted. To address the situation, many countries, including the Gambia, made efforts to ensure continuity of learning through different means. Evidence now suggests that this widened the gaps of disadvantaged groups. At the event, Maimuna Sidibe, the principal program officer for UNESCO, said many African countries have called on UNESCO for support to strengthen their national COVID-19 response. Together with school resumption plans, these countries, she said, indicated a willingness to involve UNESCO in designing strategies in providing learning continuity to marginalized population and to support teachers' capacity building in distant learning as key pillars of resilient education systems.
After the validation, we will share the report with the organizations that are involved. So all these reports will be put together and see how to synchronize them and then create the digital platform for learning for these 5 African countries. So that is the aim. At the end of the day, that is the ultimate goal.
The Director of Curriculum, Research, Evaluation and Development at MOPSI, Momodou Dieng, said in March 2020, UNESCO launched the Global Education Coalition to mobilize international solidarity and innovative solutions, adding that the coalition developed a consortium project to join forces and help mitigate the immediate and long-term impact of the COVID-19 pandemic.
I know you may be aware that in the 2016-2030 education policy, we have made commitment to use technology to complement the face-to-face traditional teaching and learning in the Gambia. And since this commitment, we have had series of initiatives. For example, in 2009, we started piloting the use of technology in some clusters.
Ndeban Jufnong, the Deputy Project Coordinator Youth Empowerment through TBEC, said the objective of this mapping is to assess the current situation of the digital learning environment in the Gambia with stakeholders to be engaged in digital education, teaching and learning activities during COVID-19 and beyond.
And in particular, with reference to the West African region, 3 related interventions are being pursued. 1, the adoption, scaling up, and rapidly deploying a regional platform for distance and blended learning. The second is the strengthening of regional cooperation and pooling of resources for the development and diversification of educational resources, as well as 3, training teachers and relevant educational personnel.
Siad Gay, the national consultant of the project, have this to say.
During the consultations, I had the opportunity to consult and met with a lot of relevant stakeholders, including those in the private sector. But first of all, with the ministry, particularly the key units, such as curriculum and research and the IT unit, also in service unit, the regional directors, and so forth. So the study basically targeted key and relevant stakeholders in digital education.
As part of the consortium support to West African countries, the UNESCO Abuja Regional Office is implementing a subcomponent named Sub-Regional Capacities, strengthening through global coalition partners to support distant and blended learning across the 5 selected West African countries: the Gambia, Ghana, Liberia, Nigeria, and Sierra Leone. Reporting for QTV News, I am Omar P. Jallo.
Now let's take a look at what is happening in the world of sports.
Rewarded for their efforts in the past few years to get an Olympic ticket, top African and Gambian female sprinter Gina Bass and judoka Fainjai were each given $200,000, while Ibrahim Kamara and Ibrahim Abuaro get $100,000 each. According to the Minister of Youth and Sports, the money has already been paid into the athletes' accounts.
As a country, we want to task you that commitment, that determination that you have been doing over the past years and months to be able to reach where you are is what we want to build on. And go out there and extend this message to the rest of them, Gina and others, that the whole Gambia, from the president, from the executive, to every individual of who is a citizen or living in the Gambia, is so proud of what you have achieved. And we want you to do more. We want you to go out there and bring us some medals. Government have also decided to provide an extra amount of money, but the total amount is $600,000.
Among the attendees of the ceremony is former Olympian and now Minister of Defense, Sek Omar Faye. He encouraged the athletes to have national pride in representing their country and reflected on the past when he competed in the 1984 Los Angeles Games. He also hailed the hard work of former athletes and sports administrators for their role in shaping sports development, especially athletics.
In 1984, during the opening ceremony, we were all wearing our blue kaftan, and I was privileged to have the flag, and the team was with me, and the stadium was full to capacity. It was jam full, it was not COVID then. And the whole world was watching the Gambian delegation with Afghan Blue, with all our senior people, the late Alaji Omar Sy, Chairman Bara Touré, Fred Lloyd Evans, Doudou Diouf, Bamba Ndiaye, and we the athletes, the Banana Judges, the Amin Daws, the Georgiana Freemans, the Jabu Jawas, Francis Jata, Peter and Paul Cisse.
Heading Gambia's delegation to the Tokyo Olympic Games is Anthony Tabal. The chef de mission says he and the athletes will give their best to raise the country's flag.
Let them perform as best as they can in a safe environment and bring them back home safely, so that they can raise the Gambian flag to where it should be, and hopefully we might even have a chance for a medal this year because of Sister Gina Bass has been doing a lot.
Ibrahim Boaro received the Gambia flag on behalf of the team. He says he's been training hard for the games and hopes to compete and do his best for the country. Umudu Gajaga, QTV News.
Good luck to our athletes. Now, before we close, here is a recap of our main news headlines. President Adam Barrow on Saturday afternoon paid an unexpected visit to the central abattoir in Boko to gather first-hand information on the sale of sacrificial rams for Eid celebrations in the Tabasco. The Carnival Municipal Council, in partnership with Waste Aid UK on Thursday, launched a project aimed at diverting organic waste from markets to compost in women's vegetable gardens. The World Food Programme, in partnership with the Ministry of Agriculture on Saturday, presented bags of rice to victims of the recent windstorm disaster. In sports news, a financial reward of $600,000 was presented to 4 athletes who will represent the Gambia at the Tokyo Olympic Games. Well, that is all we have for you in this bulletin of Midday News. Do join me at 8 p.m. for the news.